welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be installing a RPM Powersports blow-off valve on my Can-Am X3. I don't know if you guys done any research or not, but if you do, you should already know that RPM Powersports has the loudest blow-off on the market right now. Guys, they got a high quality kit, comes with everything you need. I'll leave their link down below. It's rpmsidebyside.com. If you use code Norman at checkout, guys, you'll save 5% on anything you buy. They got exhaust, they got any kind of performance mod, they got bumpers. Just go visit the link down below, and if you got a Polaris or a Can-Am, I think you'll really enjoy the stuff that they got on their page. And just remember, use code Norman at checkout, you'll save 5%. So with all that being said, guys, let's get to the video. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and unbox our package from RPM Powersports. Alright guys, got the blow-off valve here. Also got these silicone hose. Open up the box here. Got a nice sticker and a keychain from RPM Powersports. There's your blow-off, guys. That's all aluminum construction. It's got the RPM logo right here. Got your air filter. It also has the RPM logo up here on the top. Really nice air filter cover. As you also got some different weights and springs here, and what that does is it allows for your blow-off valve. If you don't want it to be as loud, or you want, you can install these different weight springs, and that will allow your blow-off valve to not be as loud, but I want mine to be as loud as possible. So you just leave the spring in it that came in it, and that's the heaviest spring. There's the one that comes in it. Alright guys, let's get this thing installed. Alright guys, the tools you're going to need is a stubby 4-way screwdriver, a 7mm socket, a ratchet, and just a couple long extensions, and you'll see in the video where I use these. Our next step is to take this cover off right here. I'm going to try to do it without taking my bump seat out, but if I have to take the bump seat out I will, but I'm going to try to without having to take it off. So I'm going to take this cover off right here, and then our next step is to take off your clutch intake here, and then take off your airbox intake. Makes it easier access to the charge tube. Alright guys, when I start taking it apart, it looks like I can just pull this hose down. I don't have to take it all the way off, and I'm going to have to unbolt this hose here. Right behind it is your charge tube. So we'll unbolt this hose, get it out of the way. Alright guys, got that hose out of the way. Now the next thing is to get the bolts off of the charge pipe. And your charge pipe is right here. So we'll take that clamp off. That goes to your intercooler. And back here, that's your turbo right there. So you take your clamp off here, and you clamp off up here. Then we'll put the new charge pipe on. We'll go ahead and take this back cover off to see if it will give me any more access. Alright guys, so now I should be able to get to that clamp a little bit easier on the turbo. Go ahead and get the intercooler clamp off. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but this is where the ratchet comes in handy in the extensions. So I got a couple long extensions on this so I can reach that intercooler clamp. It makes it so much easier, guys. Alright guys, I got the clamp loose from the intercooler. So I'm just going to pull down on it here. You can see it come off. Alright, so intercooler side's off. Let's go get off the turbo. Alright guys, you can see here, take the clamp off the turbo. This is where the ratchet comes in handy, guys. Be a little bit hard to do it with the screwdriver. Alright, now pull the hose off the turbo. Alright, now let's pull the hose out this way. Alright guys, here is the RPM silicone charge tube, and you'll see the difference in them. It's got that little Y split in it, and that's where your blow-off valve goes. Honestly guys, not only does the blow-off valve sound awesome and cool, but honestly it's better for your motor, guys. It releases that build-up pressure from the turbo, so I would imagine that over time the lifespan of your motor is going to be a lot better. I love that RPM logo on that. Alright guys, let's go ahead and unwrap the new tube, get the blow-off valve on. Same 7mm bolt on the clamp. And guys, these are different size inlets. So this one goes on your turbo, the bigger one goes on your intercooler, and then you have this smaller one that's for your blow-off valve. Guys, RPM is really good about their shipping. This kit was shipped to me right at 2 days. Alright, let's go ahead and install our filter. Guys, this is like really good quality. I don't know if you guys ever bought a K&N air filter, but K&N's known for being some of the best air filters, and I mean, this looks just like one. It's got the logo on top. One other thing, guys, that I like about this blow-off valve kit, if you decide that you don't want the blow-off no more, or decide you just want it to be quiet for a while or whatever, it comes with this plug. And that plug, you take your blow-off valve out, put your plug down in it, and that allows for you to close that hole off, and you won't have to use the blow-off valve. I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but if you wanted to, it has that option. I'm actually going to put the air filter on once I put the charge tubes on. That way it's might be easier to get in. Alright guys, the inside of the silicone tube is really sticky, tacky like. So to help put it on, I'm going to actually rub just a tad bit of WD-40 on the inside here. Not much, just enough on my finger. And this will help slide it over the pipe. Got the charge tube assembled, got the clamps on. Now let's slide it back in. Alright guys, you'll see I got the tube back on. Let's slide it up over the turbo. I got the charge tube back up on the intercooler, and in the instructions it says to go ahead and tighten down the intercooler side. That way when you put the turbo side on, it don't come off on you. Also too guys, I turn my clamp the same way. That way I could use my long extension to tighten my clamp back up. Now we just have to tighten the clamp down up on the turbo. Go ahead and install the air filter. For this one, it's probably best to use a screwdriver to tighten the clamp up on it. Alright, our next step is to install the plenum hose. That goes right on the tip end there. That's what gives your vacuum. This is your plenum hose, and you use the stock bolt that's in the plenum already, and it's a T30 Torx bit. And I might end up, I seen online a lot of people's hoses was a little bit longer, so I might shorten mine up. That way it looks nice and clean. Alright guys, this is where your plenum hose goes. You take out this T30 Torx bit. Alright, there'll be this little plastic cover that comes out. That's what it look like. I'm going to take my hose and put it right down inside. Alright, now I'm going to run my hose back up to my blow-off valve. Right here on the end of your valve. There ain't no clamps or nothing needed. It's flanged on the end so it won't come off. Alright guys, this thing's good to go. I'm going to use 1 or 2 of the black zip ties. They provided them as well. I'm going to tie my hose up here, but you can see guys how clean that looks. Now guys, just to install everything back. Those of you with a 2-seater and you have a bump seat installed, I did get the blow-off valve installed with, I didn't have to take the bump seat out. Might have made it a little bit more difficult, but I think it would have been more difficult to have to take the seats out and take the bump seat out. Now guys, we'll just install our intake tubes back and we're done.
Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Guys, if you have not ordered you one yet, I'm going to leave the link down below. RPM Powersports. Use code Norman for 5% off. Guys, you've got to get you one. If you got an X3 or a Razor, these things are off. All that being said, leave all your thoughts and comments down below. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more awesome videos like this, I got a lot more coming, guys. And if there was anything that I didn't show you good in the video, or you have any questions, just go ahead and shoot me a message and I'll try my best to get back to you. Be sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.